Hey friends in beauty, if you're a professional makeup artist or beauty pro who is tired of juggling multiple tools to run your business, I got great news for you. Beauty Pro Funnels is here to simplify your life and take your business to the next level. Unlike other platforms like Wix, Squarespace, or Acuity, Beauty Pro Funnels was created by a makeup artist for makeup artists. This is the world's first all-in-one software that helps you book clients, sell your products, and even launch courses all in one place. No need for separate subscriptions that drain your wallet or tools that don't speak your language as a beauty pro. With Beauty Pro Funnels, you're not just getting another booking tool. You're unlocking the ability to create multiple revenue streams. So whether you're behind the chair or not, you're making money. Imagine accepting bookings, selling your beauty products, and offering courses all without the stress of managing separate systems. That could be a big headache. Let me break it down to you one more time. Your website, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your portfolio, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your booking site, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. And your e-commerce site, host it in Beauty Pro Funnels. Want to offer beauty courses or digital products? You can sell them inside of Beauty Pro Funnels, and you'll be able to send invoices, digital contracts, newsletters, and do all of your marketing directly from your Beauty Pro Funnels account. It's mind-blowing. Listen, you're going to save hundreds of dollars every single month by replacing over 10 platforms when you make the switch to Beauty Pro Funnels like Wix, Squarespace, Acuity, WordPress, Vagaro, Honeybooks, 17 Hats, Dubsado, MailChimp, Klaviyo, Kajabi, DocuSign, even Shopify. It's crazy. I know you got at least one of those. And here's the best part. Tayana and her team spent over a year building plug-and-play templates into your account for pretty much everything, so you never have to start from scratch at all. So all of your appointment confirmations, reminders, and payment reminders and stuff like that for your clients, they have already been written out for you. You can even gather reviews and referrals all on autopilot. You'll free up so many hours of time each week so you can focus on what you love, your artistry. Plus, with their mobile app, you can manage your entire business from the palm of your hand. Send invoices, schedule appointments, and even take payments on the go. I believe in Beauty Pro Funnels so much that I recently moved the Friends of Beauty site to Beauty Pro Funnels, and I am loving it. It's a game changer because it's not just a platform. I swear it is like having your personal business assistant designed specifically for makeup artists and beauty pros like you. So here's the deal. If you want to see what all the hype is about, visit getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends to get a personalized tour and see how Beauty Pro Funnels can transform your business today. That's getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends because you deserve the best tool for your beauty business.
But after I graduated, that's when I really turned it into a research and development laboratory. And that was about 2021, or 2020, like end of 2021, beginning of 2022. And so since then, we have launched so many products that are on the market today. We have worked on products that are in Target, that are in Sephora, and it's just been super cool to see just the growth of a company and seeing it go from nothing. And This is literally my baby. Like, I feel like I birthed it and I grew it into this amazing creature, this amazing business. And so what we do here, we specialize in skincare, hair care, and body care. We do some color cosmetics, depending on the type of product, because color cosmetics can be very messy. So what claims are you looking to make? Are you wanting to be vegan? Are you wanting to be fragrance free? Are you wanting to be paraben free, phthalate free? Like, what type of certifications are you looking? EWG certified, clean as Sephora, Ulta Beauty's made without list. What regions of the world are you looking to sell in? FDA markets, EU markets, there's Japanese, Canadian markets, Australian markets. There's so many different aspects and pieces that go into product development that people don't think about. A lot of times, the products that you see in Sephora and Nordstrom, they're the same materials that you're seeing in Target and even beauty supply store brands. The quality doesn't matter. They're all accessible. A lot of times, all of us, I work on products that are in are prestige brands, like luxury brands, and I work on products that are mass market and value brands. And a lot of times I'm pulling the same ingredient from my lab bench. I can go into Target, and I can go into Ulta, and I can look for a glycolic acid serum, or I can look for a vitamin C serum, or I can look for an azelaic acid serum. And so those are the types of things that I think about when I'm going into stores purchasing
Yes.
products.
She's coming in well informed. Okay. I know you probably be shading those people at Sephora when you walk in, be like, I don't need your help.
I
Okay.
see people all the time be like, I know more than you. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't need you. Okay.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready?
Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, on today's episode, I am so excited because I have Milan Scott in the Friends in Beauty guest chair. So Milan is an award-winning cosmetic chemist, digital skincare influencer, and the CEO of Keseana Cosmetic Labs. They are a cosmetic research and development laboratory that specializes in helping beauty brands launch innovative products on the market. They offer regulatory overview, custom product formulation, testing, and manufacturing. This is super cool because I've never chatted with a cosmetic chemist before. And I just feel like it's just like so lit. I'm so excited to get into it because Milan is making science sexy, y'all. So welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Milan.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and talk with you about literally my passion.
I'm so excited to
Really
have you.
fun.
Like I said, I've never had a cosmetic chemist on the show. And like you all are the reason why we have beauty products. So it's like so important to, I don't even know what took so long, but I'm happy that we met and you're here now. We're
Likewise.
gonna get into it.
Absolutely, we are. We're gonna get into some things. I'm
Yes.
really excited, and thank you. That was a beautiful introduction.
Thank you. I try. Well, before we get into it, we're going to start off with some icebreakers so the Friends of Beauty audience get a chance to know you a little bit outside of what you do professionally.
Okay.
So, first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
I love to travel. That's like one of the biggest things about me. One of my goals is to go to every single country before I die.
Uh,
So one thing is that I travel. Another thing is that um, I have a son, a 2-year-old son.
okay.
He's the light of my world. And then I also really like to cook.
Nice. Okay, so you was in there for Thanksgiving doing all the stuff.
I was trying for sure,
Okay.
for
Nice.
sure.
Okay. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
I think people say that I'm really like a people person, so I'm good at like starting conversation. I'm good at, going into a room and just like filling the room with energy. And
Good.
so I think that's what my boyfriend always tells me because he's very much like the opposite of me. I always call him antisocial, and I'm the one that's like in the room going to all the different groups
Yeah.
of people and trying to introduce myself and just going out and being energetic personality that I am. So I feel like that's
Yes.
something that they tell me that I'm good at.
Okay, you got a good balance in the relationship too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Can you imagine if
Unfortunately,
y'all
it
were
goes
both
through.
like hype, like
Yeah, that wouldn't work for us.
that'd be so funny. When's the last time that you did something for the first time? Have you had any new experiences lately?
Hmm. The last time I did something for the first time, that's a good question. Yeah, I
Because you be
think.
on the move. I be seeing your Instagram. You be at all these events and stuff like that. You be going.
Well, I'm doing something this Wednesday actually for the first time. My friend has a Twitch streaming platform, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I've never been on Twitch. I don't have a Twitch, but that'll be my first time like going on there and just like hanging out with him and seeing the if your audience is interested. It's called the What's New in R&B podcast.
Oh,
And they
cool.
stream on Twitch. So I'm gonna be over there on Wednesday. So that's gonna be my first
Oh,
time.
I might need to check out Twitch. People are streaming their
Yeah.
podcasts on there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I did not
It's
know about that.
awesome.
I thought it was like a gaming platform or something like that.
No, like, do you see like Keseana and like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he games, but not so much on his platform. He really just vlogs and creates content, really.
Yeah, everybody trying to get on Twitch now after they
Yeah,
announced how much money
okay.
he was making.
Okay, that man make like 2 million a month.
That is great. He's so young.
Yeah.
I love it. The young people, y'all killing it. Y'all
So
killing it.
many ways to make to make a living out here,
It
and
really
social
is.
media is one of them. Absolutely.
Man, if you got the personality, that's the way you capitalize on it right there.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
it. Let's see. What is a current mini win or a highlight for the year that you've had so far?
Um, so I've had so many events this year. So I think one of my favorite things that I did this year was I went to Glow Recipes. There's a skincare brand called Glow Recipe. I went to their skincare master class in DC. They went like
Okay.
all over the United States and had those master classes. And from there, I met so many beautiful people, influencers who are just doing like the same type of content that I'm doing, and
Yeah.
just being able to network with people, and really, that's like really my vibe, right? Like, you go into a room, you meet people who are just so passionate about the same things that you are, and just like,
hmm
that's my pocket right there. Like, I
That's
was
me
on a
too.
high that whole night. Yeah, for
Me
sure. That was
too.
probably one of the best experiences that I've had this year.
I love that. What's your sign, by the way?
I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces. I'm just trying to see
Yeah.
something. I'm trying to see something real quick. I'm like, she's Aquarius because like I'm the same way. Like I love like networking is my jam. That's why I've started
Hmm.
Friends and Beauty started off as networking events first, and then I pivoted
For
to the
sure.
podcast. But I'm the same way. You get me in a room, baby, and I feel comfortable, and it's a vibe going. Like I'm gonna work it.
Absolutely. What's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Okay, my son is an Aquarius.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you on that one. So, the last one, if you weren't a cosmetic chemist, is there anything else you could see yourself doing right now?
Yeah, so it's a funny story, and maybe we could talk a little bit about it. But I was actually a math major in undergrad. So I was like on track to do the whole engineering route. Like, had
Okay.
done the NASA internship, all of the things. I graduated with my degree, and I was like, I'm not feeling it no more. I'm not passionate about this. I don't feel fulfilled. And my roommate at the time, she was a biochemistry major at the same school I was going to. And she was like, well, you love beauty, you love science. Why don't you think about merging those two and becoming a cosmetic chemist? At the time, I didn't even know what a cosmetic chemist was. I didn't know
Right.
what they did. I never heard of it. I don't know where I thought cosmetics came from. I guess I just
hmm
thought brands was in their kitchen formulating, but I realized that there's a whole science behind what goes into our cosmetic products. And so that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna become a cosmetic scientist, because I was a freelance makeup artist in college. I was doing my thing with beauty and hair, and all of the things. So at that time, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and take my chemistry prerequisites. And I went and got my master's degree in cosmetic chemistry. And now I'm a cosmetic chemist with my own business. And literally, like, I just am so thankful to God for putting my roommate in my life at that time, because
hmm
I switched my career paths, literally the whole trajectory of my life. And I haven't looked back, and it's been the most amazing experience. I don't know what I would have done as an engineer. I don't think I would have been super fulfilled.
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay, you see how God works? I was just telling
That
you, divine timing.
divine timing is everything. That is incredible. So you were a makeup artist first. Well, you were a
Mhm.
makeup artist while you were in college. So you
Yep,
had the beauty industry experience already
yep,
and you're familiar with beauty products. Tried out
exactly.
cosmetic chemistry and loved it.
Absolutely.
Wow,
And
I love
I
it.
haven't stopped loving it since.
That's great.
And
Wow.
it's
Okay.
crazy to think about, because I was in my senior year when I was like struggling with, okay, do I just finish my degree? Do I change my trajectory? Because I had been doing it for 4 years. Imagine, you get so
Yeah.
close to finishing, you do your internships, you work with
More school.
NASA, and then, especially coming from a Caribbean background, my family is Jamaican. And
My
so,
family to make it too, girl.
okay, hey family.
That's crazy. Because I was
So
gonna
you're
ask you what
probably,
I already know what your parents thought. Well, if
yeah,
you know, but
usually it's doctor, lawyer, teacher, engineer, right?
yeah.
One of the four things. And just getting my family on board oh, you want to do makeup? No. I mean, I do want to do makeup. I love doing makeup, but it's not a cosmetology degree, it's a science degree. And so trying to help them understand that this is something that can be lucrative for me. This is something that
Very
can bring me
lucrative.
success and it's going to make me happy at the end of the day as well. So I think that maybe was probably a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
But I think overall, my family is super supportive. So at the end of the day, that's what I decided to do, and I love it.
Yeah.
And they definitely see the vision now.
Yeah, they just want the best for us at the end of the day. And I feel
Absolutely.
like this is a
They don't
good
want us to
time.
struggle in the same ways that a lot of them do.
Right. And this is like a
Yeah.
good time where people are actually seeing or understanding more, I think, what all the different things you can do within the beauty industry to be successful. Because like
Absolutely.
I've been doing makeup for 11 years. So it's like at the beginning, it's like, you gonna do makeup?
Yeah,
Are you
right?
making money? Like, are you getting paid for this
Exactly.
type of vibe? But now it's like so many different things you could do and be successful in
Exactly.
the beauty industry. And this is one of them. I'm really excited to talk to you too, because this is an avenue that people don't really explore a lot. And
Yeah.
at least from my knowledge, of people kind of just want to be hair, makeup,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
front facing, but we need the people
Right.
behind the scenes too.
Exactly. And it's a way for you to, delve into a STEM degree or like tap into the science part of things. I think only like 8% of scientists and STEM professionals are African American. So I really want to like encourage people to, especially people that look like me, Black women, brown women,
Yeah,
people of disadvantaged backgrounds, to go into those avenues and figure out ways to really shift the beauty industry standards and break rules and disrupt the industry and create
yeah,
innovation. And so those are the things that I'm super passionate about,
for
especially
sure.
as it pertains to people that look like us.
For
So
sure. Was it like a really rigorous program or difficult to transition from like what you were majoring in at first to do the master's program?
Um, different, yes. Difficult. I wouldn't say it was very difficult. I've always
Okay.
been someone that loved science, loved math, loved, STEM degree, STEM classes and things like that. So I wouldn't say it was super difficult. And it was also fun at the same time because, you're going into the lab and you're seeing literally you're taking raw materials and turning it into a finished good. So like you can take those products home and now you have some edge control to take home, right? Now you have some edge
Right.
control for the next morning. And so I think that was the fun part about it. Like lectures are cool. They're not difficult. You're taking notes, right? But the lab
Yeah.
part is like the fun part. So it was rigorous, but it wasn't difficult, I would say, for sure.
Yeah. That's so much fun. So what did you receive your award for?
Oh, you're saying as an award-winning chemist?
Mm-hmm.
So I was a 30 under 30 Changemaker Award recipient from the Institute of Caribbean Science Institution. Yeah, so that was back in 2022, and they awarded me, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. I had someone nominate me for the award, and there were 30 people who got awarded for that
That's
award.
fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank
Congrats.
you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really feel like this is the industry where God is calling me to be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be passionate about very many other things.
Yeah,
And I
that's so
remember
cool.
being in high school as well. Look, I'm a professional yapper, so tell me when to stop. But I remember being in high school and just being so frustrated about having to choose one career path. And I was like, "Well, there's just so many. How do I choose just one to major in college?" And my aunt Doreen, I'll never forget. She was the one who really told me you don't have to pick just one. My aunt was an airplane pilot. She was a lawyer. She was a math teacher. She was a
Mm.
fire director. She
He
did
was a
literally
Jamaican.
all of the things exactly. And now she owns a nonprofit organization giving awards to. It's called the Living Legends Awards for Service to Humanity, where
Mm.
she gives awards to people who have done so much for humanity. And so
Wow.
that she really was the one who taught me that you don't have to just choose one career path. You can be a mathematician, you can be an engineer, and you
Yeah.
can be a cosmetic scientist, and you can go and teach because I did do teaching as well. And
Wow.
you can be a business owner, and you could be a philanthropist and give back to the people
Right.
who look like you and want to be in the same place that you are. So
Yeah.
she was the one who definitely
You said
inspired
your Aunt Doreen?
Yeah, exactly. Shout
Why
out to
do I
Aunt
have an Aunt
Doreen.
Doreen too?
Okay, every Caribbean family probably has an Aunt Doreen.
It's so crazy. And I also think it's like so unfair in a sense to ask like a 16 or 17-year-old what you want
Yeah,
to do for the
right,
rest of your life. They don't even know what's out
right.
here. They don't even really understand the different, they don't know nothing yet.
Exactly.
So it's like I
Exactly.
really feel uncomfortable sometimes asking children like what do you want to be when you grow up? Because it's like how you expect me to know this going into college? I feel like that's why we have so many student loans and all
Right,
that stuff.
yes.
People
And
go to
sometimes you don't even
college.
end up using your degree at the end of the
I didn't
day.
use mine. I have an IT degree that I haven't used, except for being techie in ways of doing the podcast and editing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Social media, things like
hmm
yeah.
yep. So why'd you
Yeah.
choose beauty in particular? Was it because you were already a makeup artist? Why go into? Because I know with being a cosmetic chemist, you could do other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's so many different avenues of being a cosmetic chemist. You can go into sales, you can go into research and development, which is what I do. I develop products. You can go into the regulatory side, toxicology. There's so many different avenues. For me, I remember when I first got to college and I sat down with the president of the university. She was a friend of my grandmother's, so we were all there.
Okay.
She was like, "Well, if money didn't matter, what would you do?" And I was like, "I would go and sit and do makeup all day or something. I would do hair or something like something that's fun." My grandma was horrified. She was like, "You're supposed to say something about engineering and something." I was like, "I'm being honest." And she was the one that was like the president's wife at the time. She was saying, you know, you can do that. Figure out a way for it to make you money. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're happy about, figure out a way for it to make you money. And so I always had that in the back of my head as I was going through college. Like I can do
Yeah.
anything that I want to do. I just need to figure out a way for it to make me some money. Because at the end of the
hmm
day, money drives everything, right?
You
So
need
I
it.
got to figure out a way to make this lucrative. So when I ended up getting my master's degree in cosmetic science, I was like, okay, I have this degree. What am I going to do with it now? And I decided that I would go into research and development because I loved being, in the lab, at the lab bench, putting together something from nothing, having an idea in my head and turning it into
Yeah.
a physical product. I mean, I also kind of like the regulatory side, which is where, you're going through retail clean beauty lists. You're going through FDA cosmetic laws and making sure that the monograph is matching the product, and just making sure that it's compliant with any governmental
hmm
standard.
Got
That's
you.
fun to me as well. But really the fun part is seeing it come to life and seeing a product go from nothing to something. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I went. There and like I said, there's just so many different ways that you can go into cosmetic science through
Yeah.
sales, through
Do you have to have a
suppliers.
degree?
I'm sorry.
Do you have to have a degree to get into the field?
Um, no. I mean, there are cosmetic formulators, they're not necessarily chemists, but they're formulators. They take a certificate. I know Spelman actually now has
Mm.
a certificate program for cosmetic science where you don't have to necessarily get a degree. It is a little bit of like education, I would say. You have to go through like the class to get a certificate, but it's not a
Yeah,
degree at the end of the day.
got you.
But yeah, I know a lot of people that are in that program. There's also the Institute of Personal Care Science that has a certificate program online. Um,
hmm
so you don't have to have a degree in order to become a formulator.
Yeah,
Now, to say that you're a cosmetic chemist, you have to have a degree in chemistry or some type of
got you.
cosmetic science. But yeah, and you can
Um,
go into sales. Um, you wouldn't necessarily be more on the technical side, but you would, have some understanding of, raw materials and like what goes into the product and creating a sales pitch for your clients or consumers. So that's kind of it, but I don't think you need a degree for that.
yeah, for sure. I see from your page too, you're really into like skincare and beauty and things like that. What's your approach to beauty products? Like when you're shopping for beauty products as as a cosmetic chemist, like
Mhm.
what's your approach to like the things that you decide to purchase?
Yeah, and that's one of the big things for me too. I always say that, one of my things is I want consumers to understand what they're purchasing. I want them to make better purchasing decisions and not be fear mongered into purchasing something
Yeah.
because a brand is scaring them away from another thing. Why do you actually want this product? So for me, when I go into Target or when I go into Ulta, when I go into Sephora, I go in there knowing my own skin concerns. So my skin concerns, I have dry skin, I have hyperpigmentation, and I'm acne prone. Those are
Mhm.
my three things. So Acne prone is usually for like oily skin, but I have like cystic acne, hormonal acne. So
Got you.
I
Yeah.
do have to address that as well. So for me, I look for raw materials or ingredients that are going to target those skin concerns. So dry skin, I know I need a bunch of humectants. So glycerin is one of the big things.
Got you.
Hyaluronic acid, polyglutamic acid. Try to think like just really like lightweight super moisturizing creams, serums,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Now, when I'm talking about hyperpigmentation, I know I need sunscreen. That's the very first thing, right?
Mm.
When you're picking a sunscreen, you have two avenues that you can go in when you're in the United States. So one is a mineral sunscreen, which is going to be like zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Those are the ones that kind of give like a white cast. You know, like when you go
Yeah.
on vacation, right, and you put on your sunscreen and
Mm-hmm.
you look purplish,
Yes.
look like a purple tint. That's because those are mineral sunscreens, and so they reflect UV, or they absorb, but they reflect like 4% of UV rays, right?
Okay.
And then chemical sunscreens are like your chemical UV filters or your organic UV filters. And so those are the ones that don't leave a white cast. And I prefer those because I want to look good and I don't want a white cast
Good.
every day. So hyperpigmentation, you can do all of the serums, all of the creams you want, but if you don't do sunscreen, it's literally going to waste. So for me, so for hyperpigmentation, I usually look for, a kojic acid, vitamin C's. Trying to look at my raw materials and see what I'm looking for. So like ingredients like that, that's gonna help with targeting hyperpigmentation. And then what was the last thing I said? Oh, acne. So
Yes,
I
acne.
love a good exfoliant. So I look for chemical exfoliants. I don't really like the mechanical exfoliants like the beads.
Okay.
I feel like they are too harsh for me, but I
I'm about
like
to say,
chemical
yeah.
exfoliant.
Be
Right. So
hurting
I look for like
sometimes.
glycolic acid, lactic acid, salicylic acid, which is like the best ingredient for acne. So that's what I look for. I look at ingredients. Well, first I look at what are my actual skin concerns. And so as a consumer, what you guys should do is look for your skin concerns. Maybe you should go see a dermatologist and see, what exactly am I struggling with. You can
Mm-hmm.
even go see an esthetician and they can do a skin analysis for you and tell you exactly what, your issues are as far as skin. And then now that I know my issues, I know exactly what to look for. I can go into Target and I can go into Ulta and I can look for a glycolic acid serum, or I can look for a vitamin C serum, or I can look for an azelaic acid serum. And so those are the type of things that I think about when I'm going into stores purchasing
Yeah.
products.
She's coming in well informed. Okay. I know you probably be shading those people at Sephora when you walk in, be like, I don't need your help.
I
Okay.
see people all the time be like, I know more than you. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't need you. Okay. Every time I'm
No, but
walking there, I'm like,
honestly,
girl.
I don't even blame them. They're doing their job, right? Sometimes I will ask them like, "Hey, I'm looking for what's your favorite moisturizer? What's your
Hmm.
favorite toner? What's just to like see what consumers are purchasing." Then that's really for my own research and seeing like, well, what do people really come in and ask for? What are
Yeah.
are people coming to buy the Patrick Ta blushes? Are people coming which foundation do people usually come in and purchase? So I'm doing my own research to see,
Hmm.
what are the market trends and what's going on. And so I don't just brush them off, you know what I mean? I might know more than they might know more than me at the end of the day, right? They know about
Yeah,
consumer trends and stuff too. So everybody has their scope of expertise.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So you have to tell us about your lab. Tell us about Keseana lab, what you be doing over there, how long you been there.
Sure.
Like, just give us the tea.
So I started this company back in 2020. I was doing sorry. Okay. I started this company back in 2020. I actually started out doing e-commerce, where I was selling like lip glosses and stuff. I was still in school at the time, so I hadn't really delved that deep into like raw materials and formulation science. I was kind of very
Hmm.
surface level. But after I graduated, that's when I really turned it into a research and development laboratory, and that was about 2021, or 2020, like end of 2021, beginning of 2022. And so since then, we have launched so many products that are on the market today. We have worked on products that are in Target, that are in Sephora, and it's just been super cool to see just the growth of of a company and seeing it go from nothing And
Yeah.
this is literally my baby. Like, I feel like I birthed it and I grew it into this amazing creature, this amazing business. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so, yeah, so what we do here, we specialize in skincare, hair care, and body care. We do some color cosmetics, depending on the type of product, because color cosmetics can be very messy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we also do, drug development. So we've done like numbing creams, we've done
Okay.
sunscreens, hand sanitizer. Those are all considered drug products.
Yeah.
But mainly our bread and butter is skincare, hair care, body care. Um,
Okay.
and so yeah, so we do formulation, where we'll whip it up in the lab for you, send it off for your samples. You provide that feedback. We'll go back to the drawing board, reformulate it, submit it again. So we do that back and forth until we get to an approved formula. And then
Mm-hmm.
we'll do testing on it. So we do, brightening testing. First we do stability testing, preservative efficacy testing, all the types of testing, right? Just to make
This
sure
is
that the
so
product
cool.
is
I'm just
safe.
like fascinated right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, it is really cool. So we make sure that the product is safe and we make sure that it does what it says it is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that your consumers can trust, and we have quantitative data to prove. And that's kind of where my math background comes into. We want to
Yeah.
make sure that we have quantitative data to prove that this product actually works. Um, and then we also do some small scale manufacturing, which is where, we actually will whip up actual finished goods. So like, I don't want to pull out a client's product, but we'll actually, put it in its finished packaging and ship it off to consumers, like
Got you.
influencers and our consumer evaluation panel and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But if a company is ready to scale and grow and they want to do 250,000 units, right, instead of 100 units, we are able to connect them with manufacturer partners, who can scale with them, and meet those, retailer MOQ, warehouse MOQs, and
Yeah.
just meet their goals. And so we literally take clients from start all the way to the end goal. We want to help them on all ends. And so that's kind of what we mean by that. Taking them each step of the way. They don't have to do anything by themselves. We even have a packaging design specialist with us who can
Mm-hmm.
help them determine, what packaging is going to make your brand stand out from anything else that's on beauty counter shelves, right? Because that's the first thing that consumers see before they ever
Yeah.
try your product, before they ever see your product. The packaging is the first thing that they see, the first thing
Mm-hmm.
that they feel, the first thing that they touch and pick up. So we
Yeah.
think packaging is super, super important.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So
that's kind of a little bit
skincare,
about our process.
yeah, skincare, hair care, and body.
For
So you
sure.
said the color cosmetics is a little bit more tricky?
It is a little bit more tricky. It's messier, but then it's also a little bit more tricky trying to get exact ratios of colorants. And we use a photo spectrometer just to make sure that colors match. And so that's kind of where it gets tricky, is figuring out, okay, does it need more blue? Does it need more red? And the machine will tell us, but it just kind of gets messy and real
Yeah.
intricate sometimes. So we will do color cosmetics depending on the type of product. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah.
What's the simplest one to do? Like a lipstick or something? Like a
Yeah,
gloss, a
probably like a
lipstick?
lipstick, or yeah, something that easy payoff. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What are your thoughts on
Foundations are
clinical?
probably the hardest.
Okay. What are your thoughts on clinical trials? Have you done those type of things too?
So we are not a clinical trial lab. We will usually send it off to clinical trial labs.
Okay.
There's a company in LA that we usually work with, that'll do those testing. But I
Okay.
think it's super important. I always say, get your testing done to prove that your product does what it says that it's going to do. A lot
Mm,
of times brands will skip that step. Um, and so they're kind of having to play catch up and, trying to convince consumers that it works versus actually making sure that they have a product that works. So I
right.
always say get the testing done. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's important
For
at
sure.
the end of the day.
Yeah. So what's like a typical day in the life for you when you're at the lab? Like what are you working on?
Yeah. So usually I come in like 9:30. And first thing I do is I'll send off some emails to my clients. I have a lab tech that works with me as well. So we'll usually do some stability testing, just to make sure that the, products are lasting its shelf life. So that's our testing that we do, stability testing. And then we'll probably go to the lab bench and formulate some products and making sure that we're making small changes to certain iterations according to our clients' feedback. Um, we're also testing it. We have a little like a doll head in here with like 4 different types of hair textures.
Oh, cool.
And so we'll probably put like shampoos and like deep conditioners on it just to like evaluate performance and make sure that it matches the benchmark and things like that. And then I'm trying to think what else do we do? Making changes, of course, to formulations, adding in some new ingredients, meeting with suppliers. That's always important because you want to stay on top of trends, and
Yeah.
making sure that all the active ingredients that are in there are like the efficacy of it and just make sure that it's compatible. So client meetings are, I mean, sorry, supplier meetings are always important. Sometimes I'll have client meetings as well, just talking about, what changes that we're making or making sure that we're staying on our timeline and on track.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of like what I do in a week, really. I don't do all of those things every day, but
Yeah.
every day is sometimes different.
Yeah. I meant to ask you too, are you able to share the brands that you worked on that's in Sephora and Target, or is it like confidential?
So we do sign NDAs with all of our clients just to make sure that, their intellectual property is protected and all of those things. So we don't share
Yes.
information like
Don't come for
that.
the formula, don't come for the lab, okay? I love that
Yes.
though. I love it. You get to see your products in the store.
I
Like,
absolutely love it. Yeah. It's really cool. I like going into Target and Sephora and be like, oh my God, I gotta do like an internal scream. I
yes.
remember the first time seeing a product that I made in store and I was like, I literally shocked myself, like seeing it. And I remember the project brief when we
Hmm.
first came with this client and, saying, hey, this is what we want to do. And now I'm like scanning in Sephora and seeing it. And it's like
That's dope
literally the
in
most
Sephora.
incredible feeling. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Have you ever felt so overwhelmed and burnt out that you just wanted to pause everything? You've been in grind mode for so long building your business. When is the last time that you took a break? That's exactly why I created the Water Break Retreat, happening in the breathtaking paradise of Bali on July 6th through 12th, 2025. The name Water Break comes from a moment I had on the verge of burnout, feeling unmotivated, uninspired, and completely drained. You know that feeling when you know you need to slow down, but you just can't justify it because everything feels like it will fall apart without you? That's where I was, and I knew I wasn't the only one. But here's the thing, if you don't take a break voluntarily, your body will force you to take one, and we don't want that, do we? That's why this retreat is all about intentionally pausing, just like a water break in a game, to recharge, refresh, and come back stronger than ever. Imagine waking up to stunning tropical views in a luxurious accommodation, relaxing, unwinding, and connecting with like minded beauty pros, and having memorable experiences that will leave you refreshed and re inspired to run your business and not have your business running you. A private chef welcome dinner, epic pool party with floating breakfast, Balinese spa package with an Instagrammable relaxing flower bath, and visiting the Bali swings is just a portion of what we have planned for you. Flexible payment plans with our dedicated travel expert make it super easy to say yes to the rest that you deserve. This is your chance to prioritize you. Spots are super limited and they're filling up pretty fast. So don't wait. Head over to friendsandbeauty.com/waterbreakretreat to grab your spot for this intimate getaway. If you're ready to hit pause on the hustle and escape to paradise to recharge together, head to friendsandbeauty.com/waterbreakretreat. Check out our full itinerary and save your spot as soon as possible. Share with another friend in beauty and get your passports ready. It's time for a water break.
Sure.
Wow. Where are people normally when they come to you? I guess for the beginning stages of developing a product, do they already know what they want and they just need you to, are you like formulating it from scratch, or what's it called? Like private label type of vibe?
So we don't do private label, but I will say that the majority of the clients that come to us, the majority of them, they know what they want coming in. They don't have any formulas developed yet. They have an idea in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Now sometimes a client will come to us and say, I have been trying to work on this formula for months and I cannot get this formula right. I need y'all's help. So
Gotcha.
that's when we'll step in and look at their formula and make changes to an already existing, we call it an MVP, a minimum viable product. So
Mm-hmm.
it really just depends on the client. Some clients come to us and they're like, hey, we have a formula that we love. We have done testing on it. We just need help creating this brand, right? So they have
Yeah.
a product, but they don't have a brand. And so we'll also help them to figure out what is your market differentiation, what is going to make your consumers want your product instead of the product right next to yours on the shelf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we help them to figure out how are we going to launch this product. And so that's kind of our like branding phase where we're helping them to, set up photo shoots and just launch,
Mm.
have a launch basically. And so that's kind of, we help on all ends.
I'm
That's
about to say y'all
literally
do it all, it seems like.
so we literally do it all.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind
Yeah,
of
the
budget should
cashier.
people have in mind when they're thinking about producing a product from scratch?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
What kind of budget should people have in mind when they're thinking about producing a product from scratch?
So from scratch, it depends on the type of formula, the type of processing, but I would say usually if you're coming from scratch, let's say you just want you just want the product made, no testing, no manufacturing, no branding, anything like that. Just a formula can be anywhere from like $5,000 to $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add your testing on there. So, that can be anywhere from like $800 to $5,000, another
Mm-hmm.
$5,000, right? Added onto your costs. And then once you get to manufacturing, that can be anywhere from $4 to like $10 a unit.
Yeah.
Just depending on how big your unit is and type of processing, if it's a cold process or hot process. Then you add your branding phase on top of that. That can be another $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Packaging label design, maybe another $500. So I'm thinking all in can probably be anywhere from like $8,000 all the way up to like $15,000. It's a very
Right.
wide range
For one
depending on the
product.
type on one product, right? Exactly. And it depends on the all of the different types of testing that you're willing to do.
Yeah.
It depends on the type of processing that you're having, and the complexity of that formulation. It also depends on do you have specialty ingredients in that formula that are really hard to access, or to
Mm,
access. And that water is essentially $0 per ounce when you're manufacturing it, right? But
right.
let's say you replace water with like coconut water or like aloe vera water, that can change your cost from $0 an ounce to like 3-4 cents an ounce. And so it
Right.
doesn't seem like a huge difference, but you just multiplied it 4 times, right?
Yeah.
So imagine producing 100,000 of those units. Now you have a very high cost. You know what I mean? So those are all things to consider. And there are, programs out there to help small businesses who are usually bootstrapping themselves,
Mm-hmm.
to get funding. I mean,
Yeah.
Black Girl Ventures, they usually, and don't you offer a service where I think I was looking on your Instagram, you offer a service where you like help people find grants and things like that for
Oh no, not yet though. I'm just very passionate about grants because I won a couple of them. So I'll just be sharing
Oh,
the
okay.
resources where people could apply. But yeah,
Oh, awesome.
go
Yeah,
ahead
yeah,
and
yeah.
manifest it.
Right, exactly. So I was just gonna say that there's money out there for
Mm-hmm.
those type of services. So go
Yeah.
and get yours if you're looking to get a formulation made. I mean, a lot of the companies that I work with are small independent brands. They don't have the budgets of L'Oreal and Estee Lauder,
Mm-hmm.
and Fenty's and Max, and so a lot of them are bootstrapping themselves. So we make it accessible in a way where you put down a deposit of 25% and then the remaining balance is paid over a period of 6 months or 8 months,
Okay.
just so that we're making it more accessible for people. I
Yeah.
always say that I take pride in being able to turn small brands into big brands, so they have to
Yeah.
have the budget to do that, and so we have to make it accessible for them.
I love that. And I wanted to
Yeah.
know too, like once they're finished with the initial process of like product development,
Mhm.
developing the brand, like manufacturing and everything like that, what's typically the way that they would continue to pay for the product to be made? Like you already have the formula and everything, so
Mhm.
that's solid. So now it's like they're just
Now you
paying for
just work with the
fulfillment.
manufacturer, yeah, to
Okay.
continue fulfilling it. Yeah, depending on how many units that you want, you'll
Yeah.
negotiate that with the manufacturer. Yeah,
Got
and so
you.
you'll just go
Oh,
reach back out to the manufacturer and say, "Hey, I need 500 units if you're small, right? 500
yeah.
units of this product." They'll quote you and fill it. You might come back later and say, "Hey, we sold out super quick. Can I get 100,000?" Or not, probably not that huge, right? That huge of
Yeah.
a jump, but something along those lines, right? So it's kind of similar to that.
Okay. So what's important to you as the cosmetic chemist when you're making products for people and the type of ingredients that you're choosing to like put in there?
I look at efficacy of ingredients and seeing what data that the suppliers have to prove that their product actually will work in our system. That's one thing I look at. I look at, what claims are you looking to make? Are you wanting to be vegan? Are you wanting to be
Um,
fragrance free? Are you wanting to be paraben free, phthalate free? Like, what type of certifications are you looking? EWG certified, clean as Sephora, Ulta Beauty's made without list. What regions of the world are you looking to sell in? FDA markets, EU markets, there's Japanese, Canadian markets,
wow.
Australian markets. There's so many different aspects and pieces that go into product development that people don't think about. But yeah, that those are all of the questions that I ask in order to, develop a project scope. I'm trying to
Because
think.
like will
So
all of those different places have what they require or what their like what ingredients are
allowed.
yeah allowed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there
Wow.
usually is a lot of overlap, but let's say we're talking sunscreen, right? That's considered a drug product in the United States. Some countries don't consider that to be a drug product. They consider it to be a cosmetic product. Um,
Uh-huh.
whereas in the United States, it's regulated a lot more strictly. And in the United States, there are certain filters that are allowed to be used, whereas the European Union, right, they have certain filters that can be used that can't be used in the United States. And so they're not able
Right.
to sell here in Sephora and in those retailers. And so yeah, that there is a lot of overlap. So like a lot of the ingredients that are sold in the United States can be sold anywhere else, but a lot of the
Hmm.
time, if you're selling a sunscreen in the UK, you have to make sure that those filters are allowed to be sold in the FDA market. So
Oh
there's a
my
lot of
goodness.
considerations to think about when formulating a product. I also
Yeah.
think about, what do you want this product to feel like? What are the sensory aspects? What is the experience that you want your consumers to have? Do you want it to have a fragrance? Do you want it to be thick? Do you want it to be a gel? Do you want it to be cream and ointment?
Yeah.
Those are all the type of things that we consider
I,
when creating a product.
dang, what's your favorite products to make?
I like skincare. I like moisturizers. I feel like they're easy to make one. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I say that they're easy to make, but it can really depend on like there's oil and water emulsions, there's water and oil emulsions, there's silicone
Mm-hmm.
emulsions. So it just depends. But I like moisturizers, I like shampoos, and like body washes and things like that. I like a good product with some fragrance. I don't know about nobody else, but
You
I
like
think that
fragrance?
that adds on to the experience while using it. I think
Yeah.
that's important. So that those are some of the products that I like to make.
Yeah. Is there a way to add fragrance that doesn't irritate people who are sensitive to
Yeah, I
things like
mean,
that?
I think a lot of times, when people are making fragrance-free claims, what they'll do is they'll add an extract in there that has a natural scent to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like
So it's not an added fragrance, but
exactly, it's not
a
a
natural.
technical fragrance or like a synthetic fragrance, but it's like an
Gotcha.
extract that might smell really good or like smell
Yeah.
flowery, but not necessarily a fragrance. So
I'm
that's
so
kind of how they
excited.
get around that.
I want to come to work with you.
Yeah, come on, girl.
I want to put on like a white lab coat and just like play around with the little what are those things called?
Beakers.
The beakers. Yes. I just
Hmm.
want to feel like I'm back in chemistry. Girl, I hated chem. This is like so random. I hated chemistry class in high school because my teacher was such a butthole. Like I just could not get down with chemistry. But I feel like as an adult, it might be fun.
It's a lot of fun. Listen, I I had a good experience in chemistry. I was real cool with the chemistry teacher in high school, but yeah, I love what I do. It's like
Hmm.
the most fun I've had ever. I have a lab tech that works with me, and sometimes I get jealous because I'm sitting at my computer and she is formulating it at the lab bench.
Yes.
I'm like, I wish we could switch, but I got so much work to do. But it's really an amazing experience. Come on, girl, let's come on over to the
Yes.
lab.
I'm gonna come
We'll
by and play
hit.
one
We'll
day.
take care of you.
Yes. What's the
Yeah,
like the most, I guess, unique or innovative products you've made? Because I feel like, there's a lot of things out here that are similar. Have you
yeah,
had any experiences with a product that was like, I'm excited to do this because this is a little different?
yeah. Let me think. Let me think. So, yes, there's two products that come to mind, and I'll tell you the first one. The first one, I worked with a brand. They wanted to create a numbing cream for when you get Brazilian wax.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get a Brazilian wax, they usually have to put down powder first so that
Yeah.
it absorbs the sweat, and so the wax can adhere to the hair.
Mm-hmm.
So our client, when you're creating a cream, usually it does the opposite of that. It creates like moisture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we wanted to do was that we wanted it to be a cream to powder formula. So we created a cream, and then we added some ingredients that will help to like create that bulky and that powdery texture, so that when you put it on, you apply it, and then it turns into a powder as you're rubbing it in. So that was like
Yeah,
the
that's
cool
fire.
technology.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is I always tell this story, but I was working. This is actually a client who has released me from the NDA, so I can say their name. It's
Okay.
called Fast Paced Cleaning Solutions. We created an all-purpose cleaner for her, which is crazy because we are cosmetic chemists. We don't
Right.
usually create cleaning products. Well, some do, but we don't usually create cleaning products. And so I had told her this. I said, "Well, I've never done a cleaning product before." And she was like, she was just so adamant about working with a Black cosmetic chemist. And she was like, "No,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do it." And so she like bullied me into it. She got me, and we created a super cool formula together. And so
Yeah.
that was really pushing me outside of my comfort zone, but it was exactly what I needed. And so I always say that that was like the coolest project that I've ever done, because it
Yeah.
like pushed me to really tap into, okay, how good of a chemist are you? Can you really do something like this that you've never done before, you were never taught how to do,
Mm-hmm.
and do testing and actually prove that this product works? And so we did it. We did it, Joe. We did
Yes.
it.
That's really
So
cool.
yeah.
I know you mentioned earlier too, ways that people can stand out as far as like packaging and like, are there any other things? Because I know somebody's going to think like, oh, the beauty industry is like so oversaturated. I
Saturated,
know for
yeah.
me, like as a makeup artist, people always ask me if I would come out with a beauty product. And I'm always
Mhm,
like, I don't know, because I feel like just the Aquarius in me, I just feel like if I
mhm.
do something, I just want it to be a little different. Like how you just
Yes.
explained with the cream to powder thing for the wax
Yeah.
out. Like I just want something that's gonna be a little bit different. So
And
how
so
can people like stand out other than packaging?
so to that point, it's very probably more than your actual formula is branding, right? So
Okay.
figuring out your market differentiation. And that can also tie into your formulation. I usually say that there's usually three reasons why someone should be starting a brand, right? So one is if you are a professional and you're creating a product that's in line with your scope of expertise. So,
Mm-hmm.
a makeup artist creating a makeup line, right? Or a hairstylist developing a hair care brand, or dermatologist esthetician creating a skincare brand, right? That just
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. So that's a point of differentiation. Another reason that you should be starting a brand is if you have a cool new patent or a new ingredient that's never been seen before on the market, and you're going to be the one to launch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one way that you can differentiate your brand. Now, another reason is if you have a new approach to it, an ingredient that's already on the market. So, maybe including chemical exfoliants in your hair care, right? Or maybe just doing something different with an ingredient that we know of, but we've never
Yeah.
seen it used in the application that you're using it. So
Got
I
you.
usually say if you have either one or two of those reasons, you should be starting a brand, because that's going to be your market differentiation.
Yeah.
The market is very competitive, but if you have that market differentiation lined up, nobody's going to be able to compete with you because you're in your own lane. So
Yeah.
that's what I usually
I
say.
like that. Developing something where you're using it in an unconventional way. We do that a lot as makeup
Exactly.
artists, so we use things
Exactly.
in unconventional ways a lot.
Yep,
Hmm.
exactly. So if you can figure that out, I say go for it.
One thing I really want to know as a makeup artist too is like what makes products different? Because there's a lot of times where you'll see somebody say, "Oh, this Maybelline," just like an example. I don't know if it's,
Uh-huh.
real, but this Maybelline is the same exact, finish or feel as NARS Creamy Radiant or something like that. Like what makes a product different when they put it on the high end versus the drugstore? Is it like ingredients that's different? Like, or is it all the same and it's just the branding and the marketing?
A lot of times it is just the branding and the marketing, but not all the time. Sometimes it is really just the branding and the marketing. They might have, the same ingredients, not the same formula, but maybe the same
Same
ingredient.
ingredients. Got
Right.
you.
However, I will say that a lot of times with the larger brands, they have a bigger budget to incorporate ingredients that might be, super weird or like super innovative, or, have the budget to do the testing to prove that the product works.
Yeah.
Versus like drugstore. Some drugstore brands are huge, like the Maybellines, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not all of them, right? So we have smaller brands and drugstore retailers too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so usually, if they have a larger budget, they're able to include, you know, an ingredient that is super inaccessible, right? Or an ingredient that's super expensive. It's works,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just super expensive. And so the smaller brands can afford to incorporate that because they're keeping their product costs low. Um,
Yeah.
but if you're selling a product like La Mer and you're selling it at $200, right? Someone like Maybelline is like, I can't afford to put all this stuff in there because my product is $5 and I need to have a 60% margin. So
Got
that
you.
means that I can only have my packaging, my raw materials, everything, labels and everything add up to a certain cost. And so if
Mm-hmm.
that ingredient is going to be included, it has to make sense for the budget. Um,
Got you.
Now, so long story short, sometimes, a lot of times, the products that you see in Sephora and Nordstrom, they're the same materials that you're seeing in Target and even like
Yeah.
beauty supply store brands. Um, the quality doesn't matter. They're all accessible. A lot of times, all of us, I work on products that are in, our prestige brands, like luxury brands, and I work on products that are mass market and value brands. And a lot of times, I'm pulling the same ingredient from my lab bench, or I am reaching out to the same suppliers for the same material.
Yeah.
So I will say that that is not really. I think that's a misconception that if you're paying a lot more for the brand, that means that it works better. That means it is a higher quality ingredient. Not
Right.
necessarily. Not
Right.
necessarily. Unless you have the COA, unless you have the material data sheet, unless you have the exact supplier that they're purchasing from and this place that they're purchasing it from,
Mm-hmm.
you won't know.
Right.
But I will say if you see an ingredient in the larger brand that you probably never seen before in a smaller brand, it's probably because of budget. That's probably
Got you.
the reason.
Yeah. And when you say like ingredient versus formula, like they have the same ingredients, but they may use a little bit more or less of something as far as
Yeah,
the
yeah,
formula goes.
exactly. Exactly. So a lot
Okay.
of times you might see two products with the exact same formula, but they don't have the same processing. You might add your oil phase to your water phase in this one, but you might add your water
Mm,
phase to your oil phase in this one. It gives you two different textures.
got you.
Whereas, you might have a little bit more silicone in one, or you might have a little bit more surfactant in one. Um, but on an ingredient list, they might look the exact same. So unless you have the exact formula, you really don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have like so many questions because like I low key have an idea for something, like
Okay.
kind of low key. Do you like if there's a product on the market already that already works, like the way that somebody would want to work, but they just want to make their own brand of it? Would
Mhm.
you just take like those
Those
ingredients and just test it out in your own way to see?
are you saying like to reverse engineer it?
Yeah, reverse engineer.
Yeah, there are ways to reverse engineer. It's not as easy as people think. Like you just put it into a machine and it spits out the formula for you. That's not usually how it goes. But we'll take the ingredient list, look at it, see what it is. We have, as a cosmetic chemist, we have the expertise and the knowledge to know, okay, glycerin is a second ingredient. That means that there's probably, a high concentration of glycerin, 8%, 10%. The website might even tell you exactly what it is, right? The percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we have the expertise of knowing, okay, here's the 1% line. I know all of the ingredients after this 1% line is going to be at 1% or lower, and everything above it is going to be at 1% or higher. So I know,
Mm-hmm.
okay, these are the ingredients that are going to be pulling most of the weight, and these are the ingredients that might, be preservative, fragrance, and extracts that are really more for marketing terms, but not
Okay.
necessarily for efficacy. So that's kind of how we reverse engineer things. So we know, okay, we want it to be this texture. So now we're going to go to the lab bench and put together a draft formula. And we might need to make small changes to that until we get to something that's very, very similar to this. And so that's kind of how we reverse engineer things. So
Yeah.
it's definitely possible for sure.
That. Do people have to pay for the different iterations of you testing out to see if the formula works, or they just pay for
So
the final version of what works?
So they pay for this service. Usually there's 3 or 4 iterations included in the cost of R&D. Anything above
Gotcha.
that, they might need to, pay extra for, because sometimes we have clients that are just super anal about things, and we have a good formula, it matches the benchmark, we've done testing, it works, but they
Hmm.
just, want to change the color, or they want to change the fragrance, like small stuff like that, and so then they'll need
Yeah.
to pay for the different iterations. But
Hmm.
generally, they pay for the service essentially.
Got you. Got you. How can makeup artists, do you know how makeup artists can get into product development?
Yeah, girl, go and take a certification class, or you can even like shadow some cosmetic chemists. And girl, come shadow me. Like I can help
Got you.
you. You can even work with me to develop a product. And if you wanted to develop it yourself, I definitely recommend doing at least going to get a certificate in cosmetic science.
Hmm.
Just getting that formulation experience, so that you know exactly, okay, what are these raw materials? How are they going to benefit my product? How do I incorporate them? What is it going to be compatible with all of the different materials in this product? And so
Hmm.
that's kind of how you go about it. But if you're looking to formulate yourself, I at least recommend doing that. And you can go to Spelman. If you want to do it online, you can do it through the Institute of Personal Care Science. Join your local cosmetic Society of Cosmetic Chemists, right? You don't have to be a chemist to join that society. It's for
Okay.
formulators, it's for people interested in beauty, it's for salespeople, it's for just people in general, right? So who are
Hmm.
interested in beauty and developing products. So I would say
Yeah.
go to those events. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to kind of enter into that space.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, you know what? I did have a product developer. I didn't have a she
Okay.
wasn't a cosmetic chemist. She was a product developer for
Mhm.
Kylie Cosmetics.
Okay,
I had
cool,
her on the
cool.
show. So she was a makeup artist too. And I think she probably just got hands-on experience. I would have to go back and listen to that episode. It was a while ago.
Got it, got it. Yeah, send me
But
that episode. I would love to watch.
yeah, she was for Kylie Cosmetics and she was super cool. She got to do some stuff for like Smashbox and like
Oh,
some other
cool.
brands before she went on to Kylie Cosmetics.
Awesome, awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Do you make and sell your own products at all?
No, I decided that that wasn't for me. I
Okay.
I love being in the bench. I don't want to go out and find clients. They come to me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go out and find consumers, because I feel like that's more difficult, and I'm not just super passionate about that. But I
Yeah.
love seeing the passion that a client or brand owner might have about developing their product and launching a product for themselves. And so that's where my
Yeah.
passion lies. So I don't think I'll ever develop a product for a brand. I mean, for my own
For
brand.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw this post that you did too. I don't know how long ago, but about a brand like omitting ingredients. Is that something that is done like more often than not? And we just don't recognize it as the consumer, but somebody like you would, recognize it.
Absolutely.
That's
And I will
crazy.
be the first person to say the FDA is not playing no games this year. This
Hmm.
year, they established a new law called the MOCA law, that now all cosmetic products need to be registered into the FDA Direct portal. So if you're selling a cosmetic product, you have to enter it into the portal, right? You have to include their ingredient list. You have to include pictures of the product. You have to say where it was manufactured. You have to, all of the things. You have to have a person of
Hmm.
contact, all of those things in order to sell in the United States.
Hmm.
I will say it happens a lot more often than people think. When you're purchasing from TikTok Shop, it has
Right.
not gone through any type of, I mean, some of them do, but a lot of them have not gone through any type of regulatory service to make sure that the product is compliant with FDA regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you what to do to look out for something like that, right? If you have a water-based formula, if the product has water as the first ingredient, or even like the third, fourth ingredient, it needs to have a preservative. Go on uoprospector.com, type in the ingredients, and it'll tell you exactly what the ingredient does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's one thing. If there is no ingredient list at all it's probably not compliant. Well, it for sure is not compliant with FDA regulations, because FDA
Right.
says your labels have to include an ingredient list that is not, misbranded or misrepresented. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there are, like, for example, in the video that I had posted, it was a depilatory product, which depilatory just means that it's a product that will remove hair from the body. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a depilatory product, look at the ingredient list. Are there any depilatory ingredients? And in that case, there were no depilatory ingredients.
Right.
So clearly there is something in that product that they are hiding from their consumers in order to be natural or clean, but it really isn't, right? Um,
That
there
is crazy.
are, my friend Ava, she's another cosmetic chemist at University of Toledo working on her PhD. Shout out to Ava.
Hey, Ava girl.
She called out a sunscreen brand. I don't what is the name of that brand? They do like the beef tallow sunscreen type of thing.
Mhm.
And they created a product that they said was edible sunscreen. And whole time Ava did testing on it. And that product, we don't know what that product is. There's no mineral. I mean, there's zinc oxide, I think, in there, but when we
Mhm.
actually tested it, it wasn't acting as a mineral sunscreen. It was acting more as a chemical sunscreen, which is super dangerous
To
when
put in the body.
okay, because it's
Oh
like,
my
what are we
goodness.
doing? What
They
are we
want a
doing?
lawsuit real
Why are we
bad.
here? So things like that happen a lot more often than people, think. And it's just really unfortunate because I think that consumers now want way more transparency than what we're given, which
Mhm.
is definitely a good thing. Everybody needs transparency, right? We love that. But I think brands really muddy the water with their clean beauty standards. I think that transparency is not a buzzword. You actually have
Yeah.
to be transparent. So um, we're working on that as cosmetic chemists. I have a lot of friends in the industry who are now taking to social media to share more information so that our consumers are more educated on exactly what goes into their products. So
Oh
we're
man,
working on
scary times.
it.
Scary
Yeah,
times. People just trying to make money instead of being
exactly.
having integrity. Because people will still
Exactly.
buy it. I feel like just be honest because some people really don't care. That thing could say it could cause cancer, and they would be like, long as my face is snatched, I don't care. Like they will still buy it. So it's just best to be honest about what
Yeah,
you're
just
putting
be
in the product.
transparent. Exactly.
Yes, crazy
Exactly.
business. Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland.
Are you from
I'm
Maryland?
born and raised in Columbia, Maryland. I went to DC I went to Howard for undergrad for 1 year,
Okay.
and then I moved to Alabama for 3 years to finish my degree. Then I've been all over and moved to New York for my master's degree, and now I'm back in Maryland.
Got you. Got
Yeah,
you. How's it been like balancing motherhood now with the work that you do?
I think it's easier, honestly, with
Okay.
the work that I'm doing now. Before when I was working, I had to answer to the white man, girl. Uh, and now it's like I'm able to be the mom that I want to be, right? Like if I want to take my kid on his field trip, I'm able to do that. And if I want to stay home and hang out with my kid all day, I'm allowed to do that now. So
Yeah.
I love being an entrepreneur. I think that it has given me the life that I want to live. It's given me and my partner the life that I want to live. And so I'm just so appreciative of my business. It has given me the life that I love. So I
Yeah.
love being a mom. I feel like I was made to be a mom. And so I
Yeah.
think this has really just allowed me to be the mom that I want to be.
I love that. What are your I guess some of your I want to say goals, but what are you looking forward to like in the new year? Like some things that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I haven't thought about my New Year's like resolutions yet. I just been on go. I want to travel again this year. I went on one trip since I had my kid.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like leaving him for so long.
I know.
I used to travel like 4 or 5 times a year before I had a kid. So I think next
Yeah.
year I'm gonna get back into doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, another New Year's resolution. Um, I would like to probably be more organized. That's probably one of my and I want to I've been in the gym, girl, and I feel like that's like my New Year's resolution, but I already started like last month. So I've been like really
That's good.
consistent. So just keeping that consistency up. So that's probably one of my biggest goals for next year is just keeping that
Okay.
up.
Building that momentum and stuff.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
doing
want to reach $1 million this year. And I'm gonna do it. We're gonna manifest
love that.
it.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited for you. I'm
Thank
actually
you so
doing
much.
I'm doing a retreat to Bali for Friends in Beauty in July.
When? In July?
Yeah, July
Girl, we're
6th
gonna have to
through the
talk.
12th.
We're gonna have to talk.
You're more
Yes.
than welcome to
Okay.
join us. You know, if
Okay.
that's one of your trips that you want to take for the
For
year.
sure. Bali is one of my like dream vacations
Me
since
too.
high school.
I
Yeah.
might dip out of the United States if it's real good, like how they keep
Okay.
saying on
I have a friend who
Instagram.
moved out there and she loves it. She loves
See,
it.
see, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. So, what do you want your legacy to be with the work that you're doing? Have you thought about
That's
that?
a great question. That's a really great question. I usually say that, one of the things that I want to be known for is for inspiring the next generation of Black cosmetic chemists. Um, so I put it in my bio, but I'll just talk a little bit about it. So I started a scholarship program for high school seniors who are
Mm,
graduating and going to college to pursue a STEM degree. So like that is just one way that I've been able to like nurture that like mentorship and advocacy passion of mine
yes,
and like philanthropic passion of mine, I guess. And
yes,
just helping them to, see that there is so much possibility in the world of STEM. You don't just have to be a doctor. You can, of course, if that's your passion. But there's just so many different ways that you can create the life that you want to live. You know what I mean? So, encouraging them to explore that passion and explore what they find interest in, and
yeah,
giving them the opportunity to do that, because I know a lot of times like people can't go to college because they can't afford it, or because they can't purchase textbooks because it's too expensive, or they don't have a laptop for school, or
mm-hmm,
so our scholarship's not huge. I'm not able, at least at this point, to send a whole person to college, right? But our scholarship is like $1,000, so maybe they can get a MacBook, right, and be
mm-hmm,
able to study, or maybe they can use that money to purchase textbooks.
yeah.
Our last recipient was going into aerospace engineering, or like he wanted to be a pilot at Dell State University.
Wow.
So he's using that money to pay for uh, flight classes, or like flight miles as he's in school. And so there's just so many opportunities that you can do for being in a STEM degree or STEM
Yeah.
career path. And so this is just a small way for me to give back and do that. And so that's what I want my legacy to be, is to be able to inspire the next generation of one Black cosmetic chemist, but also just STEM professionals.
Yes. I just talked to Dr. Zuri Dale. She's an epidemiologist, but she's also a permanent makeup artist. But
Okay.
she's someone who's really passionate about STEM as well and goes into the schools to talk to like young girls and things. I might have to connect y'all.
Awesome. For sure. Absolutely.
She's
Absolutely.
in, I
Okay,
think she's
brain.
in Dallas. No, Houston or Dallas. I know she's in Texas, one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's
Yeah, that's awesome. A makeup artist and an epidemiologist. That's a crazy combo. I love that.
hmm Yeah,
I
and she's
love that.
combining the science too, combining
Exactly.
science with beauty and being able to speak on both and like merge
Absolutely.
them. Super cool.
I love that for sure.
Yes. Do you have
Absolutely.
anything that's coming up next that you can share?
I'll share a little bit. So I am I am actually in the works planning a Valentine's Day skincare masterclass. I
Okay.
just had such an amazing time at the Glow Recipe one. So right now
hmm
I'm planning one for my own, and it's going to be located either in Baltimore or DC. I'm still trying to figure out a location, but that is in the works. So it's going to be for Valentine's Day. So write it in February. So follow me on Instagram for
Yeah.
more information as it comes out. But I'm just so excited for that.
That's so exciting. I know so many people who like just like everyday women
Yeah,
who don't have like a real skincare routine, have never been to
exactly.
a esthetician,
Yeah.
dermatologist, anything. They need help. Especially
Yeah,
as I know I'm older, but like as I'm getting older, I feel like I need to be more intentional about my skincare routine because people are always like, your
absolutely.
skin is so nice. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, I have to give big props to genetics first
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like I've never had any like major skincare problems. I get bumps
Yeah.
here and there, but like for the
Mhm.
most part, my skin has always been good. But like as I'm getting older, I'm like, I need to be intentional to make sure I can keep keep looking young for as long as I can. You
Okay,
know?
period. And that in our skincare masterclass will do exactly that. We are targeting people who, are looking to increase their knowledge about skincare, and maybe, start their skincare regimen, and, just getting into that space of wanting to take care of your skin and learning, what is going to be best for my skin, and what's going to be
Yeah.
my or what are my skin concerns. And so that's who we're targeting with this event. So if that's you, I would love to have
Is
you.
it gonna be like hands-on?
It's
Like,
going to be hands-on. Exactly. We'll have products for you to try out. And you'll actually be able to. So come with a clean face, bare face, and then we're
Yes.
gonna put some products on, share a little bit about them, and you'll go home looking glowing. So yeah.
Ooh, I love it. Well, this has been such a great conversation. I feel like I learned so much. I'm like
Oh,
so grateful
good.
for you. Before I let you go, though, I have to ask you the Friends and Beauty rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So whatever comes to your mind, you can spit it out, or I always tell people if you need to elaborate, that's fine. I know how I be
Okay.
sometimes. So, first one is, what are the top three keys to your success so far?
Community, um, mentorship,
Hmm.
um, and opportunity. Taking
Yes.
that opportunity as it comes. And I'll
Yeah.
just elaborate on that last one just very quickly.
Sure.
Devon Franklin came to my college one time and he was just talking about, doors are open for you only at certain times in your life. And so you can either walk through them at that point, but know that if you don't, it might not be another opportunity. So that's just a little bit about it. I like to think that I take opportunities as they come. And so that I know that I won't miss the next one.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I like that. How do you measure your success?
I like to measure my success in the way that I help my community. If I'm making a lasting impact on someone, that I know that, what I'm doing is right. Um, and I think that what I'm doing right now, I'm on the right path, helping, specifically Black owned brands, small owned brands, bootstrapping brands to, reach their dreams and their goals. I think that's how I measure my success. Am I helping them to reach their goals? Am I helping them to put a smile on their face and be able to feed their families? And I think
Hmm.
that's what measures my success.
Okay. Let me see. What's the best advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that's just like always stuck with you, never forgot it?
Um, the best advice that I've ever received was probably um it was probably that you can't take everybody's advice. Everybody has their own path. God leads people in their own directions in certain directions.
Hmm.
So what's best for one person might not be best for you. And so talk to God about it and you and him make a game plan together. And you can take advice from people and you can choose not to. And so
Yeah.
that's probably the best advice that I've gotten.
Okay.
I made a
Love
lot
it.
of mistakes taking people's advice and not consulting God.
Yeah. You live and you learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. What advice would you give to another possible up and coming cosmetic chemist right now who is just maybe having a little bit of difficulty running the business, or they're just like, we'll just go back and get like another type of job or something. I don't know if this is for me.
Utilize your community, network, go to events where you can network with other people that are in your community. I can't tell you how many times I have had to rely on people. My chem sis is what we call them. My sisters in chemistry.
Yeah.
Those girls have honestly, we've been through it all together. So specifically my girl Alion, girl, shout out to you. I text her for literally everything. If I just need to vent, if a client's
Uh-huh.
stressing me out, or if I'm struggling with the formulation, she might give me a little advice. And so vice versa. So utilize your community. Don't give up. You're good. Just make sure you network with people and find your community.
Network and find your community, y'all. I be preaching this all the time. So I just love what it's like when you're a parent and it's like you got to hear from somebody else. They hear me talk about community and networking all the time,
Exactly.
but take it from, our auntie. Okay. You ain't got to take it from mama, take it from auntie.
Period.
What's a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the friends and beauty community?
Yeah. Like a digital resource, do you mean?
Anything,
Anything?
digital, book, I don't know, anything that you use, bookkeeping, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll talk about, the website that I talked about earlier, UO Prospector. If
Okay.
you are looking for, for example, here's an ingredient that a supplier just sent me. I know I can look up this name of the material on UO Prospector and it'll tell me all of the data about it. If it works, safety data sheets, efficacy data sheets, technical data sheets. It'll tell me the inky name, which is like there's trade names and then there's actually inky names. And so that's one resource that I use pretty much every single day.
Okay. I love it. So the last one is just a statement that I want you to repeat
Okay.
and just say, my name is blank
My
And the
name.
key to longevity and success is blank, like whatever you think it
Okay.
is.
My name is Milan, and the key to longevity and success is um authenticity, I would say.
Mm.
Should I expand?
You can definitely. You can absolutely expand.
The key is authenticity. If you are doing something because you know that it's right, I think that you'll be blessed and God will bless you for your efforts. I think that a lot of times we miss that piece of authenticity in business. A lot of times we're just trying to make a quick dollar. We want to
Hmm.
capitalize off of people. We want to capitalize off consumers, but
Yeah,
super important to be authentic in what we're doing and
for sure.
ethical.
I love it. Yay. Well, before you go, please share like social media information, website, however you want people to connect with you, connect with the lab, follow your journey and everything.
Yeah, of course. So I go by Cosmescientist online. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Cosmescientist, COSMESCIENTIST. On Twitter, just Cosmescientist, and then my website is www.keseana.com, Keseana.com.
Yay. Thank you so much, Milan. This was fantastic.
Thank you so much. This was literally so fun.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.